Now we are going to continue with tying the warp onto the back. Now, I've had everything in these little knots with 10 strands on a knot, and you do an overhand knot. You bring it under there, over the top, and then you tighten it. Now, there's no tension on this, and the way that I've started is I simply started from the outside because I wanted it even. But you can do right to left or left to right. Basically, you want to untangle so that they lay as straight as possible, but there's no tension on them yet. Now, if your loom is at all like mine, you've got all of these strings together here, just make sure things are evenly laid along them. But again, there is no tension on anything. All of my knots are on. Then you move to the front and you pull back all of your thread. And you double check your knots up front, or excuse me, in back, and make sure that they're all basically lined up, that you've moved your heddles so that things are fairly even and you can see. Do that again. What?
Show them where how the strings are through the heddles.
Okay. Now you can sort of pull back threads that you think are pretty obvious, but it's going to go fairly well. Okay. So now we're going to start cranking on this. And you have to know which way things work on your machine. You'll notice I took my bungee cord off. My reed is forward because that's going to add tension. Now as this goes, keep readjusting your heddles so that things pull through straight. No, let it go. Okay, when the reed falls back, that means it's time to detangle. So you come forward. Remember how we had the pieces of yarn? You can go ahead and untangle those because at this point it doesn't matter. You want things to lie free. So make sure your floor is dust mopped and just let it go. All your long braids. And then just like you're combing out hair, that's how you're going to detangle. The purple one here for me is the hardest because I have one braid and it's going across the entire loom. Okay, so detangle like it's hair. Just pull it back with your fingers, bring the reed back, and then look in here to see what's loose. The entire purpose of a loom is to keep the thread under tension, so if your thread can't handle tension, it wasn't a good choice. Okay, so everything is basically the same, or basically as tense as it's going to be, and you look back here, make sure things are laying even. You should clearly see your pattern. Now comes the next important part. You must have something back here to separate the threads. You do this for one main reason. If you do not put something in between your threads and you roll it together, they will cut. They will first get tangled and then they will start cutting each other. And I'm turning it. What is wrong with me? Something is caught. There we go. I use heavy construction paper. This is what you would buy in the painter's section at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's very sturdy, and I've used this multiple times, and the thread has not cut through it. You can also use the plastic slats for cheap window blinds. Okay, so as it goes, Just make sure things are even, and if you see a thread that's got an obvious loop, stop and fix it. All right, we'll be back in a second to show you how this goes again.